And we are right back. And if you were part of the last conversation, I was over here trying to be convinced about this protein donut. You know, we're going to see how that works out. I'm hopeful to get out to Andrea's place and be able to sample it. I can say this. My team did go, and they had a fantastic time. And part of the reason why she's on the show today, beyond just the business, the person of who she is. And so we do believe that she'll have some very valuable insights to contribute to a conversation about blossoming in business. And so, Andrea, we're going to just jump right there. So let's say I'm just taking a look at my business, like I'm sure you have to with being in business. If I'm just taking a look at my business and I'm feeling a kind of, I don't know, just discouraged or just like, man, I haven't had 1,000 customers today. How do you help us to level set and balance out as a business owner? Are there days when it's going to be like a line and other days when it's kind of quiet? Like, how do you help a business owner to really get into that headspace?
Yeah. So that is such a great question. And I would say that there are definitely some key indicators that can help you to know if you're on track. But I even before you're looking at the key indicators, I think what's important is to know that it's going to take time for a business to build, and that it takes time for the word to get out and for people to know that you're there. You know, especially with a brick and mortar, it's really important to advertise and to let people know that you're out there, because otherwise they may not be able to find you. I find that in Houston, such a big city, what I learned from my personal experience in this was, like, I thought I was going to open the doors and everybody was going to come flooding in.
Some millions of people, right?
I had this great product and love in my heart, and I thought, what is the light in the world? And nobody was walking through that door. It just felt like, and so one thing I had to do is I just had to manage my state of mind and just recognize that if they're not coming, it's because they don't know we're there. And so the first thing was, how many people are we getting through the door today? You know, and then how many tomorrow? And so on. And so some of the key indicators that I used to know if I was on track was, okay, if we had 10 people today, then let's focus our next number on being 15. Like, how can we get the word out? How can we talk to people? How can we let people know we're here? And we came up with all different things, like referral programs, and like we came up with all different ideas to try to help us get the word out. So one way is the number of people coming through the door. Another is the sales. The other thing that we would do to see if we're on track would be dollar per ticket. So, you know, we started off like at $8 a ticket. Now we're up to about $18 a ticket. So also learning how to layer the sales, to make recommendations on items and things. So that also helps to increase sales. So those have all been things that we've used to help us know if we're on track. Now that we've been open a year and a half, we're able to see year over year, month over month, and those kind of things also help.
Some comparisons. I think running it all the way back to the beginning of her answer, I think it's important for business owners who are listening today, and even if you're translating this into nonprofit work, is giving yourself time. Like whether you're a business owner, a nonprofit leader, or just in any other sector, if you're just starting, giving yourself some time and not beating yourself up that people don't feel or are not aware of whatever it is that you do, like you do. It's your baby, so of course you think it's great. You know every detail, every nuance, but you have to step back from the whole, I'm going to open the doors and the crowd's going to come flooding in.
And we did like all kinds of guerrilla marketing, so I really thought that was enough. But it's not about the one-time guerrilla marketing.
No,
it's about the every day, consistently getting out there and making sure people know that you're there. And
putting in the effort daily.
The next step is building the relationships, and then the community begins to send referrals, and the community begins to
relational.
tell people. Right, exactly. And then that's the next layer. But first, you just got to get people coming through the door to tell about you.
And give yourself time to do that.
There's a ramp-up period, and I thought, 4 months then. Okay, it didn't happen the first day. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. We'll just keep going 4 months in, being consistent with our, grassroots marketing, which is what we did because we didn't have money.
It's word of mouth. It's people telling people.
To go out and advertise. 4 months, it was like, it just wasn't like I thought it would look like. And so then I think that's, for me, where faith steps in. And, it's like, I felt like I was called to open this business. And so I couldn't give up. so early, you know, and so just keep going and believing that if you continue to get the message out there, that eventually the people will come. And I feel like we're really getting to see that now.
Yes, good for you. So. Hear that, though, on today, as we do this discussion all month long on blossoming in business, y'all. I think to Andrea's point, if we're not careful, too many of us throw in the towel way too soon, and we have not really given ourselves time. Now, there is a backdrop to that. One, she felt called, and she felt sure that this is what she was. I'm not talking to those of you who kind of feel like, you know what, I kind of had a feeling I wasn't supposed to do this to begin with. We're not talking specifically to you, but we're talking to those who really know, like, this is my passion point. This is what I'm created to do or called to do, or whatever language you use that makes you sure about what you're up to. Then give yourself time. Don't allow yourself, in the midst of assessing whether you're a success or not, to base that on just a few days or a few months. And God knows, not the opening day when you thought the crowd was going to wrap the building. Like, that was not the experience. But here's the run forward of it. You hear her saying, but here we are a year plus later. So imagine had Andrea and her daughter given up in those moments when it was just a few days or months. So she's living proof right before you today that hang in there. And then the second piece that I got out of that tip was you said, and then baby steps, y'all. So a part of blossoming is being able to appreciate baby steps, because you said we went from like let's get 8 people in the door to 14, or you said we went from $8 sales on a ticket to now $18 sales on a ticket. Being able to appreciate the baby steps is a part of blossoming in your business, if I'm understanding your experience.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
So then let's go ahead and add this right back in here too. So in the midst of it, you've already kind of given us some hints. Just some common challenges, that businesses may face when they are, well, let me just tee that up, because we'll come back and talk about that. I think that's a really interesting place. I think starting with first, this unrealistic, I guess would be the best word, expectation. Mm-hmm. So how do you balance that expectation with what's really happening, and then some other challenges that people may face if they're trying to really go forward, and I'll say again, in business or nonprofit leading. So you all stay right here on the amazing 102.5 FM, and you'll get more insights from Andrea when we come right back. We'll see you in just a moment.